Thank you for joining me. My name is Joel Gandara, and we got off to a little bit late start for those of you that are watching live. I apologize about that. It's always technology related with me. So thanks for your patience. So let's jump right into it. I guess maybe I should tell you something about myself. I assume we all know each other, but I'm sure there's always someone new here. So my name is Joel Gandara. I own, as of right now, 14 different Shopify Plus websites, and mostly in apparel. I do own other businesses. We have a fulfillment center, and I invest in other businesses outside of those as well. And thanks to Sean Thomas and AO, a little over a year ago, I became a coach, and I've been coaching entrepreneurs since then. Started with AO, and I love it. I love talking to you guys, and some other businesses that are bigger and more established. I've been coaching them as well, and I love all of it. But AO is fun because you guys are at an interesting point. This is the make or break kind of inflection point. It's not the same talking to an entrepreneur who, you know, their decision might take them from 10 million to 15 million in sales. I know that sounds awesome and romantic and fantastic, but it's a lot more important to make that decision that might take you from 500,000 to 1 million, right? So that's what I really enjoy about it. All right, I have not even glanced at these questions. I've been running around quite a bit, and hopefully our connection doesn't slow down. It is COVID. I've got 4 kids in the house, all on computers. And that was part of the technology issues we were having. I made everybody take off anything that did not have to be online at the moment. So hopefully our connection is good. All right, let's start with the first one. The first question comes from Kyle Stroud. I'm looking to hire someone to monitor inventory levels and make purchasing decisions. Should I use cheap out-of-country employees, friends, family, job search sites, etc.? Business description and background of this question. I'm an Amazon seller. I purchase products at wholesale prices and ship the products to Amazon warehouses, which then fulfill orders to my customers. After speaking to Sean, I know that I need to hire people to do the work that I don't enjoy. Inventory needs to be monitored daily, and the employee will need to use tools and my past sales performance on these products to make an educated guess on how many units need to be purchased. This is a crucial part of the business. If I have no inventory in stock, I can't make money. Kyle, absolutely. We've all been through this issue. I'll share with you what has worked for me. And if you guys are listening to anything I say and it makes absolutely no sense to you because it doesn't apply to your business, understood. I don't know everything. I just know what's worked for me. So I had the same dilemma. We have a lot of products. I have 15,000 SKUs. So imagine the reorders. They would take forever. It was a full-time job. We eliminated that. It's now an algorithm that does the entire purchasing. Now, granted, it does not do brand new products, right? There's no way of knowing if I want to sell this shirt or these shoes, or, you know, how would you know which ones to pick? That's still a process, but we've a human process, but we've sped up that process tremendously as well. Regarding this, though, if you're reordering the exact same SKUs and you just need to figure it out, there's no calculation every time. Figure out what your math is and create an algorithm. So let's just say that your inventory system, you can export it into a CSV file, an Excel file, and just apply a mathematical calculation. That will spit out your PO. So every Thursday morning, like clockwork, our system gives us our POs. They even say from us to this company, ship to here, all the instructions, net 30, everything has to be, all the SKUs, all the sizes, all the colors, everything's in there. It's done for us. Our system creates it. So the way we do that is, like in our case, I could be wrong on the numbers slightly, but just so you get an idea, we sell 50 of these per month, right? And we want to keep 5 months worth. So we need 250. What's our current stock level? It's 100, okay? So we want 250. So we want 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. We currently have 100, so we don't need these. However, what's our lead time? How long does the factory take to get it to us? It takes a month. Well, then guess what? We're back to this. We need to order 200 right now. We do that every Thursday. The quicker you order, the quicker you resolve these problems. And if there are any delays, at least you have a good supply. It's going to be capital intensive. You will need cash if you want to keep a big inventory. So that's something you're always going to have to balance out. Same with opportunities. If somebody offers you a great deal on one of your best-selling items, stock up. Maybe you get 6 months, 7, 8 months, a year's supply if it makes sense. If you know you can push the heck out of it And if you're growing, this whole thing becomes even more difficult, right? So you might start with 3 months supply on hand because you don't have the cash and you don't have enough sales, let's just say. Then sales, you're running out of stuff. Well, then you're going to have to tweak it, right? So, but the beauty of this is not a blanket calculation. You're figuring out first, how many of this SKU do I sell per month? So, example, I sell 400 of these per month. Okay, and I want, what did we say in our example? I want 5 months worth. So I need 400 per month. So 5 months, I need 2,000 of them, right? Okay, how many do I have in stock? I have 1,000. Okay, then order another 1,000. All right, so it's a calculation that works for every SKU. It's not this blanket coverage of, well, I order 500 at a time of everything. That doesn't work. You're going to pile up on the bad sellers, and you're not going to get enough of the good sellers. Next question is from Allison Koyanagi. How do I hire and train someone to take over my day-to-day duties? Business description and background of question. Digital marketing agency, Allison Koyanagi. I work a lot in my business and feel like it prevents me from doing or focusing on things I love to do. I want to start a few more businesses and focus on hobbies as well. How do I hire and train someone to replace me in the day-to-day operations? And most of all, how do I get them to be as motivated and invested as I am as the owner? Would you recommend I give them some equity in the business so they feel like they are contributing to something they can help to grow? Thank you for your help and expertise. Okay. So this is actually a big deal. Personally, I wouldn't start off by giving equity to anyone. Unless they're coming in with a lot of money and bringing tremendous talent, I wouldn't just give away equity. You're the owner, you started this thing, you should probably own it for a while longer. What I do is I incentivize them, because you asked a very good question. How do I keep them motivated and invested as I am as the owner? Number one, you have to hire the right person. Some people, you can give them $1 million, they're still not going to be motivated. Trust me, there are people who are not like us and they're driven by different things. So don't assume everybody's the same. You know, waving a carrot in front of all horses may not be the exact same, right? Some might not like carrots. So what I like to do is give them a percentage of the net profit. And what does that do? I'm going to give you the most up-to-date live example. An employee of mine today noticed that in our Klaviyo email account, on one website, just this one website, we have 14 sites. On one, the cost on it's $550 per month, right? So we don't use that so much. We only send 2 emails a week on that one, and the subscriber open rate is not as good as we'd like. It's a business we recently acquired. So we immediately, by the way, when I say we, I didn't do a thing. I just got a report on WhatsApp a little while ago. And the employee who caught it and took care of it wrote me and said, we were paying $550 a month. We've cleaned up that email list with a strict criteria, took out everybody who hasn't opened an email in 30 days, hasn't visited the site in 90 days. You know, they're not coming back. We deleted all those. That was 30,000. Now we're going to eliminate another like 30 or 40,000 and really clean up that list. And guess what? Our cost on the Klaviyo just went down to $100 a month from $550 per month. So just want to share something with you. Don't mean to drag this out, but maybe somebody gets the value out of this. It's how I calculate everything. So 550, we're going down to 100 a month on that account. So we're saving 450 times 12. We're saving $5,400 a year. That's $5,400 in profit that just went up, right? So let me explain. If we have a business that does 20% net profit, so let's divide that by 0.2. There it is. So I don't know if you can see that. $5,400 in direct savings instantly means we don't have to sell $27,000 a year and we still break even. So if sales drop by $27,000 this year, they're not going to, but if they did, we wouldn't lose a penny because we just made a savings of $5,400 a year. What you do there is you take your net profit, whatever that net profit percentage. I'm big on numbers. Running your P&L report needs to have percentages columns on the right, percentage of sales. And if you're down to the very bottom, net income, and it's 20%, which is pretty good depending on the industry, then that example is exactly right. So I hope that helps. So there, we answered that. Now, so that's a good way to incentivize them. Find the right person. Be very slow to hire. Interview, get word of mouth recommendations. do a personality test. I know that Sean has someone in the group that does these personality tests. Invest in that. I do it with everyone. I've done it with my wife. I've done it with my kids, myself, my employees. Anybody who wants to be a part of my life, I think I want them to have a personality test done because it's super important to know who you're dealing with. And again, or something that's very clear, you don't just hire for talent, you hire for attitude as well. I'd rather a less talented person that I could train or get them trained up by somebody who knows more and learns and develops than someone who's a know-it-all and annoying and just hard to work with because they're the most talented. I'm sure those people who've hired those type of people know what I'm talking about. You kind of feel handcuffed in your own business. But yeah, what you said there that Sean said to you about getting someone to do the things you don't like, absolutely, I agree. My calendar is filled doing things that I love, like this. I love doing this right here. So that's why it's on my calendar for today. Otherwise, I would not do it. Having said that, there are a couple of things that I do that I don't love, but I do them. But they're not huge time suckers. There's things like, not too many of them are minutia. They're not, I don't take out the trash necessarily. I will if I go to our warehouse and I see a full trash, I'll pick it up and throw it away. But I don't have these lists of responsibilities that include the small stuff. They include the communication, the relationship building, planning, and strategy. That I'm not going to outsource. I will take a lot of input from my people, but I want to make the ultimate decision on those big things. So that's it. I hope that helps, Allison. Lindsay Grifka. Question: what are the best ways to prepare for AO Live 2021? Business description and background of question. I have two main focuses along with the work mapped out I want to discuss with mentors. I'm going to be open-minded and open to constructive feedback. I'm going to learn more about my fellow tribe members that will be attending. What else can I do to properly prepare and really make the most of the conference? Elevator pitch. At Bling Blunts, we break stereotypes and promote self-expression and confidence by offering innovative and chic personal storage containers that are high fashion, functional, and discreet, so our #CanaFam can enjoy themselves to the fullest without critique or judgment. Try our small, resistant, airtight, childproof, and reusable containers today. It's basically a place to hide your weed with fashion, right? Right, Lindsay? Okay. This is a good question. It's really a mindset question, and I really enjoy that. It's not tactical. My response will never be tactical. It's not going to be, Lindsay, read these books and write these papers. That sounds like homework. So you're going to go to AO Live 2021. That's good, because anything like that, that's self-development, is fantastic. And from what I hear of everyone who goes to these, they're life-changing, and they kind of hit an inflection point there, and most people have gone up. Now, going to this event is not going to change your life in and of itself. It's you absorbing all that information and then putting all the good nuggets that you take from it into practice. When I read a book, watch a documentary, whatever it is, when I have an interaction, I'm always looking for that nugget, and I always question myself after, what did I get out of that? I'll give you an example. This morning I did a United Way Zoom breakfast interview where they interviewed me on some things. I'll tell you immediately the nuggets. The interviewer, who was a great interviewer, made 2 book recommendations. I had been making a few book recommendations, and he made 2 great ones, and I jotted them down, and I already bought the books 1 minute after we hung up that Zoom interview. So always look for that thing. There's something to learn. And if you go into it with that attitude that you say, you know what, I'm leaving this AO Live this year with a groundbreaking, life-changing thing. I just don't know what it is yet. So I'm going to be open from the moment I get there until the moment I leave for what that is. And you might get 2 or 3 nuggets out of it. You might realize what they are in the moment, and you might not. You might realize what one of them is 2 months later, 6 months later, a year, 5 years later. You might say, oh, that's what Dan Abate or Peter or any of these guys who are speaking, whoever it is, that's what they're, Sean, that's what they meant when they said this. I now see it. But at least you already had that lesson in their subconscious, and when it applies in your life, boom, you can now start really making it work. All right. Another question from Lindsay Grifka. I think we might have a few from her. I was warned about this. All right, let's take a look. I hope all of these apply to everyone here. And if they don't today, they might tomorrow. You never know what other business you might be in. So always be listening. How can I move traffic from third-party sites over to my website and get them to convert? Should I shut down my website? Those are opposites. Business description and background of question. I offer 15% off in exchange for email subscription to my site. I put an announcement in my Etsy shop stating this. I also try to have exclusive styles on my site, but that seemed to hurt my Etsy sales and didn't add any sales through my site. I contemplate shutting down my site since I'm still not a real business. I don't because I want some sort of presence when I'm reaching out to head shops, dispensaries, and boutiques for wholesale purposes. I don't have testimonials on my site anymore, but I will unhide that page to see if it helps. All right. My advice, Lindsay, unless you're spending, 100,000 a year to keep that open, that website, leave it open. That's my experience. Having an e-commerce presence is very important. First of all, I don't think too many wholesalers are going to take you seriously if they just find out you're an Etsy seller. By the way, if you show that it's that easy to a wholesale distributor, why don't they just go start their own Etsy, right? I had a friend, and this is back in like 1999. Him and I were like early on eBay sellers, and he had a furniture store, and he would buy in his furniture store. He had a big jewelry section. This is in Los Angeles, and he would offer that jewelry to the public that walked by. But then he started putting it on eBay, and his sales went through the roof. Imagine eBay, 1999, pretty new thing, and his sales skyrocketed. And he kept ordering from this vendor in New York. And the vendor asked him one day, how in the world, it was a very big furniture store, but still, he says, how in the world are you selling so much jewelry all of a sudden? And my friend said, oh, I'm selling it on eBay. Well, that was the end of that business. Because guess what happened about a week later? A new seller selling the exact same pieces of jewelry out of New York came online, and my friend quickly figured out it was his vendor. So while I believe the middlemen are going away, they've been going away for decades, right? If you're a producer, you can go direct to consumer. That's happening. You go on Amazon, you don't need to speed up their process, right? You don't need to show them, hey, I'm an Etsy seller only, and I want to buy from you. I say keep at it, drive traffic, as long as Etsy doesn't ding you for that. I know on Amazon, you have to be very careful. You can't entice people from Amazon to go to your website. If you put inserts on your shipments and stuff, it could cause problems. Be careful with that. I had a business get kicked off of Amazon years ago for different reasons, but I know Amazon is very strict. I don't know about Etsy, but I would not give up on that. Etsy, and again, I don't know about Etsy. We do sell on there, but I personally don't know anything about it. I don't even know what commission they take or how that works, but you want to own your own customers. You want to have their own emails. You want to have their own text numbers. You want to own that customer. It gives way more value to your business. Not that you want to sell it, but if you ever did, if you had 100,000 really good customers, that's fantastic. But in the meantime, you're going to make more money because you're going to drive traffic, and it's a slow process. But you got to keep turning that flywheel. You keep pushing it and pushing it to turn, and pretty soon it starts kind of going on its own. But you need that momentum. So don't give up on your own website. People have been dying to get on e-commerce for the last 20 years. Even if it's not selling a lot, I would stick to it. All right. Okay, so here's another question. A lot of these are from Lindsay. Don't think she's hogging it because, first of all, you're allowed to. You can ask as many questions as you want. And number two, you can all get something from it. All right. Question is, what are some less obvious ways to increase conversion? I'm already working on testing different copy and photos. I have created funnels for email subscription for 15% off and cart abandonment. I want to be careful about discounting because I have seen firsthand where customers learn the discounting cadence and just wait to purchase until a huge sale, which is a short-term game and can kill margins in the long run. Absolutely. Lindsay, so let's just think outside the box here. Again, I have not reviewed these questions, so it's kind of hitting me in the moment. Normally in a one-on-one conversation, we would ask more questions, get more data, and then what do you think about this? What do you think about that? But, kind of talking to the screen here. So maybe product launches, limited time offers, right? So it's not just discounting, it's maybe a free gift with purchase, but it expires and there's a clock running down. What else could be a good increase in converter? Yeah, I think wherever there's added value, if it's a bundle, right? You have a fashion product kind of, because it's a box to wear, if I'm not mistaken, where people put cannabis in it. So they're not gonna buy, they could buy multiple, right? Buy two of these, you're gonna get this free gift, something that could really entice me to jump in. Why should I buy right now? The human mind is distracted by tens of thousands of thoughts and things. I mean, a bird flying by could distract you, right? I could be sitting here right now outside in my yard about to purchase on your website, and a dog barked, and I looked, and then I talked to the neighbor, and then forget about it. It's got to be compelling. It's got to be something that, man, I can't walk away. Wait, I'll say hi to the neighbor, but there's this thing I got to do, right? That's kind of what I think about. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not an expert on getting that initial sale. I think I'm better at cultivating the relationship to get customers to come back more and thereby increasing the lifetime value of the customer. And why is that important? Because let's say you're paying $20 to acquire a customer. Well, if you have a product that can be resold and resold and resold and keep them coming back, it's worth investing in that customer once you get them. So what do I mean by that? Nice packaging, depending on the clientele and the situation, but nice packaging, a great unboxing experience, a quick note from the owner, handwritten, a little gift, something unexpected, right? We've been doing that in some of our businesses where it really applies, and we've got to do that, like a female consumer, things like that. And the response has been phenomenal. People write in saying, this is amazing, this is great. And by the way, this works with influencers too. If you're dealing with influencers, take care of them. Treat them a little bit extra special so that maybe they'll come back and want to push you a little harder and maybe not even charge you so much next time. Or if they've got 5 people bugging them to post, they'll take yours before they take others, right? So there are those, you said less obvious ways. I think those are some less obvious ways, maybe that won't immediately increase conversion, but will overall increase the business over time. All right, the next question, guess who? It's Lindsay Grifka. Lindsay, you are getting your money's worth out of AO. I'm proud of you. Are there ways to target the right traffic when I have low conversion and little data on customers who converted? My traffic is increasing on my site, but my conversion is still slow. I don't want to throw discounts at my customers all day because I'm trying to create a luxury brand. I think I'm attracting the wrong consumers, but I don't know how to target the correct ones when I have little conversion data to go with. Well, Lindsay, if you have little conversion data, I'm assuming it's just because you haven't converted a lot of customers and you're still going and starting out and haven't built all that up yet. But if you know who your customer is or you believe you know who they should be, then target that. You can prospect for new clients on Facebook. And then if they visited the site and don't convert, it's okay. They didn't convert that first time. An initial no is not a no right now. It's not a no forever. If that were the case, I would have never gone on a date and I would have never gotten married to my wife because I had to fight hard and be scrappy and hustle to eventually get that yes, right? So keep them in a funnel, and that could be through Klaviyo emails that create a funnel. You know, you create it and you say, well, they're gonna, once they sign up, they're gonna get a welcome email. Maybe 5-6 days later, they're gonna get a informational email about this industry and these type of products, and then they'll get one about us and one about reviews, and you build that, get them in that journey so they start feeling comfortable with your brand. Again, my comparison here of dating would make sense to a lot of guys who are trying to date a girl and who they keep trying and trying, and finally, you know, I always had a thought, somebody told me something funny. It's not that I get a girl to fall in love with me, it's that I do wear her out, right? So with the customer, you're not trying to wear them out in an annoying way, but you're trying to win them over and ease into it and little by little get them interested and get them to come in, because you don't know which of those messages are going to resonate with them. So you try them all, and you try them all in a sequence. Also, I may have mentioned it up above, you know, getting their text information so you can be in touch by texting, and also through email. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, you're trying to build a luxury brand, so I get it. You don't want to start discounting. Just go after the right client. My client should also like this, and they should like that, and then test those and see how it goes. Again, there's a difference. You prospect for new clients, and you retarget for anybody who's already visited the site. Don't let them go. It doesn't usually happen overnight. It doesn't happen in one time. Okay. Last question on here, but then I got a separate one that they sent me later. The last one on here, guess who it's from? Lindsay Grifka. Good job, Lindsay. What are some best practices for e-commerce navigation, the site journey, and checkout? Are there a certain number of clicks we should target? I'm trying to make that journey easy and intuitive so the buyer actually purchases. I have traffic, but my conversion is still low. Lindsay, if you can do any kind of A/B testing on your checkout process, I would, but it's pretty clear. the less abrasive, right? The simpler the checkout process is, the better. Look at brands that you admire and that you think sell a lot, and go through their checkout process. You don't even have to buy anything probably, but just go through the checkout process and see which one was easy for you. You do not have to reinvent this. This is not rocket science. This is something that you could figure it out just by playing with it and seeing what they do, and just copy what people do. You don't have to start from scratch. Okay, Lindsay, I'm going to grab my phone because I know the last question was sent to me after the fact. So give me 1 second. I know it's from Edward Morgan. Let's see. And I even think I remember what the question is because that one I did glance at. Let's see if I can find it. Bear with me. Well, I'm going to do my best to remember it. It's Edward Morgan in New Zealand. He sells fake eyelashes, which are so popular and amazing. But it's kind of tricky because you see a girl with those on and then you see them with them not on, and it's a big shock. So his question was, I believe, about text messaging and what service do I recommend for that. I can tell you what we use. It's Attentive. I'm assuming it's attentive.com or .io or something, but Attentive has been phenomenal for us. In our first 3 months, we tested it on a couple websites. It attributed $160,000 in sales, and we had hardly any numbers because we start with zero. We didn't have any opted in, so we had to start from zero. And as people visited the site, a pop-up would come up and offer them a big one-time discount. But they have to put their text in to receive that discount. Once they got it, they could start using it, and they got that discount one time, but now we own their text number until they would unsubscribe. Texting, as I'm sure you know, Edward, that's why you're asking, is the new email. Email's not dead. Email's phenomenal for us still, but texting is great. Texting, it's got a huge open rate. Remember, on email, a lot of people don't open it. They're busy. There's 1,000 emails, but you don't get 1,000 texts, right? You only get I don't know, a couple texts an hour or whatever it's whatever. It's got a higher open rate, so it's way better. It's not terribly expensive for us. It's been a very worthwhile investment, and it keeps that customer locked in. We're hitting them now through email. We're hitting them through a lot of SEO investment over the years, so they're going to find us. If they're that type of customer we need and they're looking for our stuff, we're going to get them. And then we're hitting them through text. And then, oh, by the way, don't forget, if they're an existing customer, we're hitting them through the experience, like I mentioned earlier, of shopping with us, where they're going to get a quick shipment. It's exactly what they ordered, right? And if they have any questions, they're going to get a quick response with everything they asked for answered. And that whole package, when you put it together, it really makes a difference because you're really taking care of your customer, and that's what it's all about. Okay, I have answered all the questions. I hope this was helpful to any of you. You can always reach me through here. I check messages on AO and on Facebook all the time. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic day.